Hello, my name is Jana. I work at the Early Childhood Innovation Center, University of Missouri, Kansas City. Thank you for considering participating in our Early Childhood Mental Health Collective research. In this video, I will review the consent form that you must sign to allow us to include your data in our study. We want to ensure that you understand all of the information we are providing. I will read the form as it is presented to you on the paper copy. Let's begin. Staff member consent to participate in research. Study title, Early Childhood Mental Health Collective. Authorized study personnel, Principal Investigator Dr. George Gatto, office phone number 816-235-5334. Secondary investigators, research staff, Dr. Ryan Ballou, Nicholas Bollinger, Dr. Dawa Yang Zong, Dr. Rumpasi Sukantaman, and Maya Shafranitz. Key personnel, Susan Smith. Research support, Slajana Bauk. Key information. You are being asked to take part in this research study because you are working at one of the participating childcare centers. Research studies are voluntary and only include people who choose to take part. The purpose of this research is to evaluate a new project to improve the availability of behavioral and mental health services for children, families, and staff who need them. The project is part of a larger effort called Anchors of Tomorrow to improve outcomes in 5 childcare centers in Kansas City. Your childcare center is participating in this study. The total amount of time you will be participating in this study is estimated to be between 35 to 55 minutes per year. During your participation, you will be involved in completing up to 4 surveys to help researchers understand the childcare staff may experience stress on the job. The surveys may ask you about any stress you experience, the work environment in your center, and the degree to which your center has equitable practices. No risks or discomforts beyond that of everyday work interactions are expected due to your participation in this research. You may refuse to answer any survey questions, and you may stop your participation at any time. Taking part in this study includes the following benefits. There are no benefits for you taking part in this study other than the contribution your participation will make to furthering scientific knowledge about the potential benefits or lack of benefits to childcare staff when behavioral and mental health services are available to the children, families, and staff who need them. You have the alternative of not taking part in this study. Participation is entirely voluntary. You will not be required to participate as a condition of employment. Your decision about research participation will not affect, favorably or unfavorably, performance evaluations, career advancement, or other employment-related decisions made by peers or supervisors. Please read this consent form carefully and take your time making your decision. As the researchers discusses this consent form with you, please ask him or her to explain any words or information you do not clearly understand. To help in your decision-making process, you may wish to talk with your family and or friends before you decide to take part in this research study. The nature of the study, risks, inconveniences, discomforts, and other important information about the study are listed below. Dr. George Gatto will conduct the study, and it is funded by the Greater Kansas City Community Foundation. The sponsor of this study, the Greater Kansas City Community Foundation, will pay the University of Missouri Kansas City to perform this research, and these funds may pay part of Dr. Gatto's salary. Why is this study being done? The purpose of this study is to evaluate a new project to improve the availability of behavioral and mental health services for children, families, and staff who need them. This project is part of a larger effort called Anchors of Tomorrow to improve outcomes in 5 childcare centers in Kansas City. Your childcare center is participating in this 3-year study. We are interested in learning about the effects or potential benefits of the program for you and for the participating children, families, and staff. You are being asked to be in this study because you're a staff member employed at one of 5 childcare centers in Kansas City that are participating in this study. You must be 19 years of age or older to participate. How many people will take part in this study? Approximately 1,000 children and adults are expected to take part in this study at UMKC. What is involved in the study? You will be asked to complete 4 surveys each year using internet-based questionnaires. Each survey will take between 5 and 20 minutes to complete. You may complete them using your phone or your home computer. Completion of any of the 4 study surveys about the stress you may experience on the job, your impression of working conditions, or equity practices by our childcare centers are entirely optional. These surveys are distinct from any mandatory workplace activities at your childcare center. You may be asked to complete 4 surveys. Secondary traumatic stress survey, 17 items, 5 to 10 minutes to complete. Childcare workers job stress inventory, 51 items, 5 to 10 minutes to complete. Early childhood work environment survey, 10 dimensions, 15 minutes to complete. Organizational equity assessment, 36 items, 15 to 20 minutes to complete. Each of these surveys is relatively short, can be completed in any order at any time or place that is convenient for you. We expect no additional risk to you completing these surveys and participating in this study as compared to the risks of the other activities in your everyday life. How long will I be in this study? This study will last 3 years. You may be asked to complete 4 surveys each year during the study. What are the risks of the study? This research presents a risk of loss of confidentiality, emotional, and or psychological distress because the surveys involve sensitive questions about your working conditions and potential work stress. You may refuse to answer any of the survey questions. You may stop participating in the study at any time. Are there benefits to taking part in the study? You may not get any benefits from being in the research study. Although there may not be direct benefits for you, your participation may contribute to improving early childhood services for other children, families, or communities. The benefits to science and our society may include better understanding of how providing behavioral or mental health services to children, families, or staff that need them may improve outcomes in childcare centers in Kansas City. Will my information be kept confidential? The University of Missouri System Authorization Number 00018 requires research data to be retained for 7 years after the final report. Reasonable steps will be taken to protect your privacy and the confidentiality of your study data. The data will be stored electronically through a secure server and will only be seen by the research team during the study and for 7 years after the study is complete. Your childcare center will provide you with an ID to use when you complete these surveys. You will not use your name when you submit these surveys to protect your confidentiality. The same ID will be used for each of the surveys you decide to submit. This ID will be used to ensure data confidentiality and to protect against any potential risk of the disclosure of information submitted to the password-protected UMKC secure server. Your personal identifiable information will not be known by the UMKC research team. The surveys you complete will be identified to the UMKC research team only by the ID number you use when you complete a questionnaire. The only persons who will have access to your research records are the study personnel, the Institutional Review Board, IRB, and any other person, agency, or sponsor as required by law. The information from this study may be published in scientific journals or presented at scientific meetings, but the data will be reported as group or summarized data, and your identity will be kept strictly confidential. What are the costs to you? There is no cost to be in this research study. What about compensation? You will receive no compensation for your participation in this study. What should you do if you have a problem during this research study? Your well-being is a concern of every member of the research team. If you have a problem as a direct result of being in the study, you should immediately contact one of the people listed at the beginning of this consent form. What about my rights to decline participation or withdraw from the study? You can choose to stop participating at any time without penalty or loss of any benefits to which you are entitled. However, if you decide to stop participating in the study, we encourage you to talk to the researcher first to make sure it is safe to do so. You can decide not to be in this research study, or you can stop being in this research study or withdraw at any time before, during, or after the research begins for any reason. Deciding not to be in this research study or deciding to withdraw will not affect your relationship with the researchers or with the University of Missouri, Kansas City, or your child care center. You will not lose any benefits to which you are entitled. Whom do I call if I have questions or problems? You may ask any questions concerning this research and have those questions answered before agreeing to participate in or during the study. For study-related questions, please contact the researchers listed at the beginning of the form. For questions about your rights as a research participant or to discuss problems, concerns, or suggestions related to your participation in the research, or to obtain information about research participants' rights, contact the UMKC Institutional Review Board office, phone 816-235-5927, email umkcirb@umkc.edu. If you're ready to participate, please sign the form we share with you and return it to the UMKC table set up at your child care center. We will accept your form and assign an ID number to track your participation. Thank you for your help with this important work.